Hey guys, John Man here at Deck for November, and this one, the best name I can give it, since it's kind of like part of my own creation in the sense of the word, is Field Control, quite literally, just about. So, let's get started. First, one Morphing Jar. Morphing Jar, you do allow 1-for-1 sometimes, card-wise, so this essentially is great for the deck because it just replenishes your hand quite easily, and with what you're playing in the rest of the deck, this can essentially mess your opponent up. Drop their Pot of Avarice, have to use Pot of Duality to get it or whatever. I mean, it's a good card. Next one, Spirit Reaper. This does affect, at least in some ways, Rabbit decks because they can't actually get past them if they don't have the proper resources, essentially. So unless they can go into Zenmains and try to destroy their own card, you're okay for a while at least. So good card still. One Grand Mole. This will get rid of, I forgot which one's which, but it'll get rid of the one that can negate normal summons, special summons, and power traps. I can't remember the name right now, but nonetheless, Grand Mole is still a good card, and it's also, just against any deck, but I'm just saying those, since Rabbit decks are becoming popular, Grand Mole is actually kind of nice. Now, I am running a Gravekeeper engine, but it doesn't mean the deck's Gravekeepers, just mind you. So one Recruiter, it helps searches out 3 of your targets that you do play, but what you side in is actually what makes Gravekeeper Recruiter pretty good. One Gale. Blackwing Gale Whirlwind is good pretty much every way, except for his defense, but yeah, he's good every way, he's a good all-around card, and he's the only main deck tuner that you will run, and probably may only run, so good card. And this deck can actually, the monster lineup at least, can be highly customizable a little bit, except for Gale, Reaper, and Morphing Jar, and Gravekeeper engine. So, anyways, one Gravekeeper's Guard, just to bounce your opponent's monster, has a nice defense, so it's gonna at least keep those Thunder Kings away from killing you, so mind that. 3 Spies, Gravekeeper Spies. So, you run this to thin your deck down, but also provides a lot more for the deck in the sense of the word other than high defense. So Gravekeeper Spies is essential for the main deck of this deck, and what other stuff you're playing, it also makes it work good. 2 down Zaloog. 2 down Zaloog in here, you'll find out later, but he is actually a great asset to this deck. And against Dark Roads, you don't use his first effect, use the secondary effect to send 2 cards from the top of their deck to the graveyard. Also works good against other decks. And what this deck is supposed to do is just whittle away your opponent or lock them down in the sense of the word. So you'll see how that works later. 2 Gravekeeper's Descendent. This also works great with Spy because if they hit the Spy, they don't kill it that turn, and you bring this guy out and they don't kill him, you essentially pop whatever monster that's going to be a threat or back row, and you continue to smash your opponent. 1 Gravekeeper's Assailant, the last Gravekeeper for now. So you run him because you actually play Necrovalley, believe it or not. So, and he does do a pretty good job with his effect. He does a pretty good job. 1 Cyber Dragon, mind you, this is not a Gravekeeper's deck, I already know it said that, so it's not that. 1 Cyber Dragon, reasons why I'm running it is because it baits Solemn Warning, baits Bottomless, baits a lot of stuff. And also 2100 attack that comes with a free special summon is always welcome. 1 Gorz, this should be obvious, really. 2 Ancient Gear Gadjiltron Dragon. Now you're probably even wondering why or what I'm even playing and why am I playing it. You'll see why. If you pay attention to the beginning of the video, I said Field Control. What does that mean? You'll see. But Gadjiltron Dragon is great in this deck, believe it or not, and it really throws your opponents for a loop when they think that they're playing something else and they're not. 1 Earthbound Immortal Challhua. I'm playing this over a Salapiscu because Salapiscu can essentially just be, they're going to whack out the field spell anyway if they're a smart player, so I might as well at least play something that can essentially at least burn them before they attempt to get rid of the field spell. And if anything, if he stays on the field long enough, put him in defense, burn your opponent for 12,000 or whatever his current defense is, and they cannot attack. They cannot even conduct their battle phase. So, yeah. And 1 Tragoedia. Now onto spells and traps. 1 Allure of Darkness, been a lot of dark, so Allure of Darkness gets the job done. 1 Terraforming. Don't get mad at me when you see the rest of the deck yet, but 1 Terraforming. 1 Demise of the Land. Now, what this card does is you can only activate it if your opponent special summons a monster. You can select one field spell card from your deck and activate it straight to the field, even if it's your opponent's turn, because it's a quick spell. So when your opponent special summons from Tengu, Dandelion, Spore, Dark World monster, you can really mess up Dark Worlds this way too. They go and use their effect, and you can just boom, you know, whatever. It's a good card. So this and Terraforming get out your field spells. We're playing 2 Geartown for the 2 Gadjiltrons. I didn't want to run 3 for the 2 because I was actually going to be imbalanced, in my opinion. And it kind of was when I played it. So what this does, if you do not remember, it also doesn't get you an Ancient Gear from your hand, deck, or graveyard when this is destroyed and sent to the graveyard. But both players can tribute summon 1 Ancient Gear monster with 1 less tribute than required. So that's why the Gravekeepers are in here, because they provide fodder for the tributes. 2 Necrovalley. This is another reason why this deck's all about control, essentially. Necrovalley stops plants, stops Dark Worlds, essentially, in a way. It stops, if I didn't already say it, plants, rabbit decks, and, well, actually, the next card will stop rabbit decks. But you run 2 of this because you're playing the Gravekeeper engine, and it really rarely affects you, because you're only playing 2 cards that really mess with your graveyard. 1 Zombie World. Now this actually messes up rabbits because they cannot go into Daka or Lagia because Exceed material monsters have to be dinosaurs, which is what this does not allow them to be. This makes them all zombie type monsters in the grave and on the field for both players. And neither player can tribute summon monsters except zombie type monsters. Tribute summon, mind you. So this does affect also plants because they cannot remove Spore for its effect to gain levels and special summon because it has to be a plant monster. This does not allow that either. 1 Black Garden, the most interesting and fun field spell to mess up your opponent. You sit Zaloog, you play this, your opponent, if they summon a monster and attack, they're most likely not ever going to get over Zaloog, and you'll be able to use his effect. Very tricky and powerful card. 2 Shrink. This also is another reason why you run Zaloog, because they attack, you say, oh, shrink during the damage step. Boom. If you destroy their monster, you also get to take the card from their deck or hand. So, really, really good card. Enemy Controller, because you actually can abuse Black Garden effectively and very well, so very good. 1 Book of Moon, because we're running Morphing Jar, Spies, the Guard, all those have flip effects. So, and plus, Book of Moon is good essentially as well. Who's seen this card lately? I know I haven't. Dark Hole, Black Rose, Bottomless. All of those trigger this card. Dimensional does not, of course, because it removes it. But still, and also neither does it destroy it. So, essentially, my body, pay 1500, protect your monster from being destroyed from anything. So when you get your field set up, you can set this and protect yourself for less than what Solemn Warning does. Anyways, Monster Reborn, duh. And mind you, playing 2 Necrovalleys, it rarely affects you because it really does affect you that much. Heavy Storm, actually, Dark Hole and then Heavy Storm. Dark Hole, obviously. And then for Spawn Trap Destruction, they put the Heavy Storm in the wrong place. 2 MSTs, obviously. Just why not? And Call the Hunted for the trap, and Solemn Judgment for the other trap. We're only playing 2 because we already noticed we're playing a big load of monsters. Well, actually playing 21 monsters if I remember correctly, or 20, and playing 19 spells. So yeah, lot. So mind you, the deck rarely is affected by Necrovalley, and other monsters are affected by type for Call the Haunted to be used on, obviously. Solemn Judgment, perfect. Now, in case what you're wondering, what do you side in when you want to play game 2 and 3? You side out all your field spells except for the 2 Necrovalleys, and because this deck can side out pretty crazily. You side into actually Gravekeepers, and you side in, if you want to, you can actually even take these out and then roll it increase if you do not want to play these 2 traps in the main deck as it originally is. But you can do that, and you can have some crazy fun with your opponent. And you just take out the 2 Gadjiltron dragons, the Earthbound Immortal. There was another one here. Take out Mole and Morphing Jar if you care to, and add in a couple of Gravekeepers, especially 2 Recruiters and 2 Commandants, and boom, you got yourself a Gravekeeper's deck. If you want to also add in a few traps and take out some of the field spell stuff, and boom, you got yourself a pretty good deck. So that's pretty much it, guys. It's actually really fun, and it does work. It's not just a bunch of craziness. It does actually work. And it's not a noob deck. It takes time to get used to, but once you got it down, it's fun. There's a lot of slow-paced dueling, though, sometimes, so just mind that. That's pretty much it, guys. It does work, I'll tell you that. And that's pretty much it. Finally, peace out.